right, everybody, good morning. Welcome to a Monday morning edition of Morning Scone. Presented by Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix, Margarita Mix. Ooh, my microphone set up. Already one little fumble there out the chute. Got it anyway, we're ready. Hope y'all had a great, awesome, wonderful Sunday day off for the Saints. LSU getting right, ready to take on Mississippi State. Let's see, opening up my browser here so we can get all your comments and everything. Say some good mornings. Hey, Val, good morning. First out the chute. Grady Savoy, good morning. Trivia, what's up? Let's see, going to go ahead and share this. Hopefully you will do the same if you're watching us on Facebook Live. I understand a lot of people come back later in the day, watch on Facebook or on YouTube. Appreciate everybody who does. What's up, Dad? Good morning. Robert Lassane, Stephen Bro, Colby Hester, Brian Arbor, John Miller, Ben Clark. Good to see everybody here this morning. Hope y'all are doing great. Remind y'all about Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix, Margarita Mix, Boudreaux'sMix.com. Never too early to start planning that Mississippi State tailgate. You want to have Bloody Marys or margaritas, make sure you take Boudreaux's. Maybe you're a restaurant owner. How about some specialty cocktails with Boudreaux's? Buy local. Lil C, what's up, man? Tara Shelton, good morning. Stephen Johnson. Hey, Jeff and Jennifer Delafano. She'd be working. Come on now. Whichever one of y'all that is. Brandon Brazel, good morning. Sam Dixon. Casey Landrum, what's up? What's up? What's up? Ronnie Dugas. Mikkel Trailer. Look at this, man, everybody. Hope y'all having a good morning. Lori, Carrie, Joey, Steven, Cody. Good to see everybody. Robert said, can't wait to hear your opinion of the game. Awesome. Talked a little bit about it yesterday. Obviously, on Morning Scone. We'll go in a lot of detail today. Robert. Drew's here. He's probably trying to put a filter on my phone right now. Usually I can tell by his reaction if he's touching the phone right now. He's searching for it. What? Did you find a filter? What? Hey, what did you do? Oh, you flipped the camera on yourself. You see? You're getting good at this stuff, bud. Okay, look. I'm going to flip it back. There we go. It's back on Daddy. Hey. It's Monday. Does somebody have a case of the Mondays? Robert. Well, go watch him. Oh, man, if only y'all knew. Oh, gosh. So we'll go in detail today, I'm sure on AFR, about the game. Talked a lot about it yesterday. I think we did like an hour-long Morning Scone yesterday. Talked a ton about the game. I wrote a column. It's at gridironnow.com right now. If y'all want to go read it, I'd highly recommend it. It helps me a bunch if you go read it. It's on my page. It's linked on my page, on my Twitter, all that stuff. But I think so yesterday I think we led Morning Scone, and I said, I think it was the biggest win for LSU since the game of the century against Alabama in 2011. So I went back and sort of explored that a little more. And the crux of it is, so LSU has had 8 wins over top 10 teams since the start of 2012. So they beat Alabama, of course, in 2011. They beat Arkansas, which was a top 10 team. They beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, then lost the national championship game. But start the next year. Okay, so start 2012. 2012 to now, they've beaten 8 top 10. They have 8 top 10 wins. So you're averaging more than one a year. So there's been significant wins. But I think top 10 wins, or however you want to phrase it, it's got to come with context. So, like, people this year are saying, okay, well, LSU has 3 top 10 wins. Yes, they beat teams that were ranked in the top 10 when they played them. And I also understand that if you beat a team and they're no longer ranked as highly, in part it's because you beat them. But, like, look at Auburn, for example. Okay, you beat Auburn. Looked like a great win at the time. Even after Auburn lost to LSU, they were still ranked in the top 10. That's how highly people thought of Auburn. Well, now they get bludgeoned by Mississippi State. They lose on their home field to Tennessee. Like, Tennessee breaks its SEC losing streak. Auburn doesn't look so good anymore. I'm like, it's still to go to Jordan-Hare and win is significant. But I'm getting to a bigger point here. When you go back and explore every one of those wins, like LSU was number 6 and Florida was number 8 in 2015 when they played in Tiger Stadium, and LSU won 35-28. And that Florida team ended up losing their final 3 games of the season. And I think most people recognized at that point in the season the reason Florida was ranked as highly as they were, it was one of Muschamp's last teams, was because, maybe it was his last team. No, it would have been, that would have been McElwain's first team in 15. Yeah, McElwain's first team in 15. They weren't a great team, but they had started off like 6-0 coming into Baton Rouge. So obviously you keep winning, you're going to be ranked highly. And then they lost their last 3 games of the season. Anyway, the point is, the win on Saturday, I think, is the most significant win for LSU since the game of the century, 2011. Not just because Georgia was ranked second, highest ranked team that LSU's beaten since then, of course, but it was more the who you beat and how you beat them that was significant. Because Georgia's the team that everyone circles. Like, there's no question that they're an elite team in college football right now. I mean, Georgia had the number 1 recruiting class in the country last year. They ended Alabama's streak. Georgia won the SEC last year. Georgia was a breath away from winning the national championship last year. Kirby's got another potentially number 1 ranked recruiting class, in tow right now, including John Emery, the running back from Destrehan. It's like the team you beat wasn't a team that at the end of the season people are going to come back and say, yeah, that's a nice win, but. And it's not only that you won, it's that you beat the crap out of them. Fresh Market. Like, it was never in doubt. That Florida game in 2015 I mentioned, LSU ran a fake field goal in that game, if you remember. They threw it that's when Cragthorpe threw the pass to Trent Domang that he bobbled and then scored on. It was a fun game. I'm not diminishing that at all. Florida had a shot in the end zone on the last play to tie it. And that wasn't a great tie. You know what I mean? It's my point with it is, I don't want to diminish those other wins. I'm just saying, in context, look at what you did on Saturday. With all of these other really good wins, this one is just is like in the penthouse. It's just a completely different level of what happened on Saturday. That you never trailed, it was never in doubt, and then just the aggressiveness. Ogeron going forward on 4th downs, he outcoached Kirby. Ensminger out-schemed Mel Tucker. Dave Aranda made Jim Chaney look like he never called offense before. It was a very stark contrast between which team and program looked elite, and it wasn't Georgia. I mean, I get it's hard to go on the road and win in the SEC. LSU learned that at Florida, last week. It's not an easy thing to do. Everybody's got good players, and there's highly paid coaches, and everybody tries real hard, and you got home field advantage. It's hard to go on the road and win in the league. But it's one thing just to go on the road and have a tough game like LSU did at Florida, where you had some turnovers, you commit 8 penalties, and it's but you still have the ball at the end with a chance to win it. That happens. The way Georgia got bludgeoned was just different. I know I pointed this out. I wrote it in my column too at Gridiron Now. The Avery Atkins play when he recovered the fumbled kickoff. If you missed it, go back and watch it. I mean, you have the true freshman walk-on place kicker diving in, burrowing into the scrum and aggressively yanking the ball away from gigantic people on the pile. It's just, that was the mentality that LSU had on Saturday, and Georgia didn't match it. Just super impressive, man. Super impressive. So we'll talk much more about all that today on AFR. Tim said Drew is the star of the show. He is. I've learned that, and I'm totally cool with it. Hey, Aunt Sharon, good morning. Joe, Charlene Hancock, excuse me. Catherine said, loved your last post, best filter yet. Oh, the one with the flowers from yesterday. Yeah. I don't even mind it anymore. Bob, let's see. Good morning, Matt. How healthy is LSU for the other dogs? Healthy, man. Healthy as they've been all year. They did not have any significant injuries the other day. We'll find out today if they plan to have Brumfield back this week. They were hopeful for this week. My guess is, as good as Jason Hines is playing, if Brumfield is at all limited, you sit him this week, you get this week off, the bye next week, and then try to have him ready to go for Bama. But other than that, man, they're as good as they've been all year as far as health. Pete, good morning, Rusty. Jeremy Wheeler, what's up? Travis McGraw, good to see you, dude. Dale Broussard. Dale said the win can only help our recruitment of John Emery. That's a good point. So for those who don't know, John Emery, 5-star running back from Destran, he's committed to Georgia. He was at the game on Saturday. I saw Shea Dixon tweeted afterwards that, in the post-game locker room, like Ogeron does his interview, dust settles, and then Ogeron was sitting at a table with John Emery. Like they recognize how significant it is to get an elite running back in this class. I know people it's funny now contextually, right? Like you look back to the summer, and so many LSU fans were hyped about Chris Curry, calling him little beast mode and Marshawn Lynch and all. And the point I made 100 times over was, man, you have elite 5-star running backs that struggle to get on campus and make an impact right away. It's just not something that happens typically. Like it took Leonard Fournette halfway through his freshman season to figure out how to be impactful. To think Curry was going to do it was not realistic. It's not a knock on the kid. It's not to say he can't become a really good SEC back. Maybe he will. But to think he was going to do that game one, snap one was just not smart. So I think, but you're losing Brissett. Clyde is obviously emerging this year, which is awesome to see. I figured he would. I don't know that Clyde is ever an all-SEC running back, but if you can pair him with a 5-star like John Emery, you got some cooking. So, yeah, it's significant, man. It's significant trying to get that kid in the boat. Jeremy, can you ask Coach O today about Mississippi State being a trap game, guarding against emotional letdown? I'm certain that'll come up. And I'll tell you this, man. I know I've mentioned it before here and everywhere. The thing, in my opinion, that Ed Ogeron has done better than anything else he's done at LSU is his ability to compartmentalize game by game by game. You saw it last year. They lost to Troy. Didn't dwell. They went on the road and beat Florida the next week. We've seen it going back to 2016 when he was interim. Lose to Bama. Go on the road to play Arkansas. That's been typically a letdown spot for LSU. They beat Darius Geis ran for like 270 in that game. His ability, it's in part. I asked him a question last week. He hasn't lost back-to-back games at LSU. Now some of that's who you play, obviously, but in part it's been his ability to compartmentalize. It's like you lost, you move on. You won, you move on. Whatever, and he's been really good at that. Like there's no question that's been one of his strengths. So I don't think this is a trap game. Because they've been good at that, number one. But number two, State beat the crap out of you last year. I don't think that these players need any type of reminder of how that went last year. Ryan McGuire, what's up, man? Brandon Stewart, good morning, everybody. Richie, it's a great Monday morning. It is, man, when they win, for sure. Val, running attack of State worries me. For me, the letdown this week isn't a concern. The concern would be just what Val said. Because 2 weeks ago against Auburn, State stopped trying to make... I'm pulling up the stats from that game because I don't want to just say it. I want to show you. So, with Joe Moorhead going to Mississippi State, he essentially tried to turn Nick Fitzgerald into Trace McSorley. And the problem is Nick Fitzgerald's not a great thrower. He's just not. He's not a good passing quarterback. And they had tried to make him throw, and he was throwing 46, 47% completions. He was just not very good. And after they lost the game to Florida at home and scored like 6 points or whatever it was, they played Auburn, very much recognizing, hey man, this is your season. And if you whatever you want to keep in play. So they go and here you go. So they go play Auburn. Nick Fitzgerald passing 9 of 17 for 69 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. This is a game they won 23-9, by the way, Mississippi State. So Fitzgerald 9 of 17 for 69 yards and a pick. Nick Fitzgerald rushing 28 carries for 195 and 2 touchdowns. Kylan Hill had 23 carries for 126, and Eris Williams had 5 for 32. State ran it 57 times. They ran it 57 times, threw it 17 times. They ran it for 349 yards. Like, Joe Moorhead figured out, like, what this team is. It's a power running team. And if you watch Georgia on their second drive, talked about a bunch yesterday, where they ran right over LSU. That's the concern. Not the letdown. It's State, now that they're using Nick Fitzgerald as a power back. That's the concern. Not, just is Aranda this week figuring out with numbers or whatever he's got to do how to stop that rushing attack. Like, that's your chore this week. Let's see. Curtis Arville, good morning. Kelly Davis, good morning. Cole Pierce, what's up, y'all? Mike Sylvester, good morning. I don't know why this thing jams. It annoys me. All right. Charles, was Saturday LSU ceiling in your opinion? Did we see the best LSU could, or turn it up another notch? Hey man, when you play a team like Georgia and you don't turn it over and you commit 2 penalties for 19 yards, I mean, that's about as flawless a game as I've seen LSU play. And if they play that game again with the crowd the way it was in 3 weeks when Alabama's here, I mean, it's going to be a game. I've seen bad. I don't want to say bad. The Les Miles' least talented team in 2014 took number 1 Alabama to overtime, and actually Bama needed a set of circumstances just to get the game to overtime. That was with Anthony Jennings at quarterback. Can this team, playing at its peak, do? Yeah. I mean, LSU and Bama play close games in Baton Rouge. They haven't been close in Tuscaloosa, but LSU, like the 08 team, went to overtime with Bama. The 10 team won in Baton Rouge, and 12 was the Yeldon play. 14 was overtime. 16 was 10-0. Like, the games in Baton Rouge have been close. This one's going to be close too with Bama. Like, whatever, it's not going to be a 2-touchdown, 3-touchdown game. It's just not. So, let's see. James, are you ready to apologize for being harsh on Coach O? No, James. I'm never going to apologize for an opinion. And I was never harsh on Coach O. I gave you an opinion. The same as how last year, whenever people after the Troy loss were saying they needed to fire Coach O, I said, no, you're not. You hired him. You give the man time to build his program. I'll never apologize for giving an honest opinion. And you know what? You didn't make that comment last week when they lost to Florida. So let's see if they can develop consistency. The problem that too many of you have right now, I don't think this is just an LSU fan thing. I think this is universal with fans. Every game is not a referendum on the entire program. Okay? Beating Georgia, like Curly Hallman beat Alabama one time. I mean, like, I'm not saying that Ed's Curly or anything. What I'm saying is one game does not define an entire program. This season, LSU is exceeding every expectation I had and many had, no question. Can you keep it going? Let's see. You're week 7. You got State, you got Bama. Arkansas is improving, although I do not think they can beat LSU. You got Rice, and you got a tough game at A&M. What if you lose to Bama, lose to A&M, and you finish 9-3? How are you going to be content? You finish outside of the New Year's Six? I don't know. Maybe you finish 11-1. Maybe you beat Bama, finish 11-1. Great. But don't have that conversation after every single game. You'll drive yourself nuts. You just give yourself time to give yourself a big enough sample. Let's see. Cole, any word on when they make an official announcement of the game November 3rd? So CBS has to designate before the season what their primetime window is going to be. So they have to decide before the season what weekend they want the day-night doubleheader. So they've already designated November the 3rd. So the only question is, would it be LSU-Bama in the night game or another game that week? And I think there's one other game. Point is, it's going to be the CBS night game. Like, it's not official until they won't make it official until next week, but it's going to be the CBS night game. CBS has to determine that before the season starts. Let's see. Jamie, good morning, Matt. This week scares me. Why should I feel okay? Because it's in Baton Rouge, and I think Ed Orgeron is really good at focusing his team week to week, and I think LSU is better than Mississippi State, and they should win. You want Robert? Robert. Okay, more Robert. By the way, y'all, I have my Monday meeting downtown at 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna have to go here in about 5 minutes or so. Someone asked about Casey, if LSU wins out, loses to Georgia in the SEC championship, do you think all three get into the playoffs? All right, Casey, Dan Wolken wrote a column for USA Today last week, maybe on Thursday or Friday, where he basically laid out that entire scenario about how it could happen. There's a lot of moving parts, like Notre Dame would have to lose somewhere along the way, and Clemson would have to get upset. Miami would have to keep losing, and Clemson would have to get upset by Miami in the SEC championship game. Like, there's a lot of scenarios that. Did you flip the camera again? Camera, very good. What? Pumpkin. We went and got pumpkins yesterday at Clegg's, didn't we? Can you say pumpkin? Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Buy pumpkin. No, I want to say buy pumpkin. Buy pumpkin. Drew went and got a pumpkin yesterday. All right. They love you, Drew. It's the only thing people react to on here is whenever you flip the camera on yourself. Are you doing it again? Oh, Lord. You just turned the light on.
Dada home.
Dada's home. Dada is home. You just turned the light on, Dada. Turn that off, please. And now, for your musical stylings, Drew Benjamin Moscona, who's now getting lost in the curtains. What? Dada is home, but Dada's about to go to work. You play the guitar? Very good. That's pretty. Very pretty, Drew. Sounds so nice. Dada home. Dada's home. Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix, Margarita Mix. Y'all check them out. BoudreauxMix.com. It's so funny. It's like the only thing that y'all like. That's the only thing that causes y'all to do hearts and likes is whenever Drew jumps on the camera. Oh, man. Let's see. I'm going to hurry up here. I apologize, y'all. I'm not going to get to all of them. Kevin, so you pick us to lose and we lose? That's not true, Kevin. I picked LSU to lose this. Well, I picked them to lose to Florida. They lost. I picked them to beat Miami and they won. I picked them to lose this week and they won. So, hit or miss. I'd say I'm picking them to beat State. How could you not pick? How could you not pick LSU this week? They're at home. They've been great at home this year. They're playing great football. They're healthy. They're a better team. They got a more balanced offense than State. Yeah, like, LSU is going to be favored this week and should win this game. So I'll pick them this week. I don't know if I'll pick them against Bama. Let me see. I want to see if 2 is healthy. Let's see that. Okay, I saw your other one, Kevin. So that is Dada's hat. Very good, Drew. Jeremy said if we can get to the QB, we beat State. I'm telling you, Jeremy, it's not about getting to the QB. Dada hat. Because State has figured out that Nick Fitzgerald's not a passer. They're going to run a buttload of read option with... Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. That is Dada's hat. Is Drewby going to wear the hat?
The hat.
Oh, is Drewby wear the hat? You want Dada to wear the hat? Daddy wear the hat. Drew, you wear the hat. Don't trip on this, please, sir. I don't want you to trip. Dad, wear the hat. You're going to trip on this, son. Step over it. Step over it. Step up. Okay. Step up. Step. Very good. Calico. It is a Calico hat. Very good, Drew. Calico. All right, y'all. We are about to have to shut this down, man. I hate to do it. I know y'all got a ton of questions and comments in here. I appreciate it so much. Sam, any chance of this being a trap game? Died last season? No, I agree with you. Yeah. We'll talk about that. Franks was not a good passing quarterback. We didn't force him to throw. We got beat. I agree. I mean, that's the key. The key this week is you got to be able to stop them from running the football. I don't know that you can stop them from running entirely because they're really good. I disagree with that. Kevin said if we have Jacob Phillips against Florida, that's ball game. I disagree, man. I think your problems against Florida were less about Jacob Phillips and more about the fact that you fumbled inside your red zone, you threw a pick six, you threw another interception late in the game, you committed 8 penalties, 2 of them negated deep passes, one was a 26-yarder to Morrow that puts you in field goal range. Like, that's the thing about not just this LSU team, but any team when you go on the road and play a good team, if you make mistakes like that, it's going to cost you the game. But even with all of that, you were still right there with the ball at the end of the game, a chance to win. I disagree. Like, I think Dan Mullins is a great play caller, and he found some soft spots in LSU's defense with that option play, with the throwback. I mean, he scouted LSU well, and his guys made plays. That's all it was. I mean, they have athletes, tough spot on the road, they made plays. Like, I don't think that the outcome is different if Jacob Phillips is on the field. Let's see. Florida game 2019 at Tiger Stadium should be fun. Yep. Chad Holmes State has the #1 defense, points against, something to look out for. They were impressive last week against the last 2 weeks. Well, they were off this week. That's another thing. The State did have an extra week to prepare, and I would not minimize that. But the last 2 games against Auburn and Florida, their defense has been lights out. Florida's only touchdown against State came on a trick play. It was a double pass. Pass and the receiver threw it deep. Let's see. All right, y'all. I got to shut this down because I got to get him ready and I got to get downtown. So, all right. My apologies that I'm not getting all of your comments. I will try to circle back and answer some of them later. Boudreaux's Bloody Mary mix, Margarita mix, Calandro's, Calvin's, Alexander's, Mid-City Craft Wine and Brew, Canada's down in Homa. If where you shop they don't carry it, demand that they do, please. Or go to boudreauxmix.com. That's easy. They can ship to you. Buy a bottle, buy a case, buy 10 cases. boudreauxmix.com. Thank y'all very much for watching. As always, sorry to jet so quickly, but I got to get downtown for that meeting at 9. We'll see you on AFR today at 3. Please go check out morningscone.com, daily email. If you've not signed up yet, please do so, morningscone.com. And check out my piece at gridironnow.com. It's linked on the Facebook page. If you do that, I'd appreciate it. All right, y'all have an awesome day. We'll see y'all tomorrow. morningscone.com.